Have you heard of the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete? Proving nature's laws wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete when no one else ever cared. Good evening. These words from the late rapper Tupac Shakur are biographical for me. I was born and raised in Stockton, California with 3 strikes against me. My mom was pregnant at 16. My father's been incarcerated my entire life, and we were poor. I was, however, blessed with the village to see me through life's challenges and to help me upset the setup. You see, my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, they all stressed education and made sure I got A's. Members of my church gave me and donated books to me to read. And then it was government programs, all the entitlement programs, things you may have heard of like Head Start, that helped me read early. Things like WIC. Things like WIC that made sure I had access to milk and cheese and things that babies need. Quality magnet schools, which challenged me academically, and then it was Pell Grants that helped me afford my education at Stanford University. And during my freshman year at Stanford, my life changed. You see, in that February, I was invited to go to a convening on this thing called the Cradle to Prison Pipeline. Now, growing up, I realized that a lot of the guys I grew up with that looked like me on my whole dad's side of the family were all either in prison or dead. But that conference gave me research, gave me policy, it gave me some real statistics and hard facts to back up my lived experiences. The next summer, fired up, I went to a young advocate leadership training at CDF Haley Farm where I learned what it meant to be a servant leader and how to be a community organizer. And it was there I was able to discover the purpose for that Stanford privilege to do all I could to help other roses grow from concrete. Fired up, I went back to school. I started the Phoenix Scholars to help first-generation students go to college. And then I went back home to Stockton and started Save Our Stockton and taught other young people the community organizing skills I had learned at Haley's Farm. While I was a White House intern my junior year, my first cousin was murdered in Stockton, and it was there that really caused me to reflect on my career trajectory. I began to think I had a sense of survivor's guilt, and that I was in the White House, I was at Stanford while my family was back home dying, literally. And this prompted me to run for office in Stockton, California, while pursuing my bachelor's and my master's degree. And last November, I made history by being elected as the youngest city council member in the history of Stockton, California. And now I'm taking everything I learned to CDF with me back in Stockton. We're working on establishing a freedom school for kids. We're working on mentorship programs in schools. We're doing a back-to-work program to help employ ex-felons. And we're also creating a local Black community crusade for children, modeled after CDF's National Crusade. So as I conclude, I'm so thankful for CDF 40 years later, because we've come a long way, but we have such a long way to go. I'm so thankful that 40 years later, we're all alive to do the work necessary to pay homage to the life and legacy of Ms. Marian Wright Elderman. I'm so confident that in the next 40 years, we really can end child poverty. I'm so confident that in the next 40 years, we can do something about this cradle to prison pipeline. I know in the next 40 years, we can make America be America again. I know in the next 40 years, we can do the work necessary to make sure kids have a healthy start, a head start, a safe start, and a moral start. And as I prepare to close for real this time, as we prepare to walk up the stage, please don't clap for us. Rather, use your hands to reach out and touch another young person. Use your hands to reach out and bring someone else into our movement. Use your hand to dig in your pocketbook and write a check because and let's do well to emulate the life and legacy of Miss Elderman. And remember the words of Jesus when he said, "When I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was naked, Did you clothe me when I was in the cradle prison pipeline? Did you help me when I was in poverty and I couldn't vote? Did you speak up and vote for me? And let's do the work necessary. Thank you.